Hello, my name's Helena Clare and I'm the founder of the Lightseekers Way, which is a network and a website dedicated to helping people connect to their highest guidance. So I'm clairaudient, that means I can hear angels, spirit guides and source God itself, and it's a gift that I would love to share with you. So one of the questions I get asked, and I've challenged myself over the years as well, because I'm very logical brained and my feet are very much on the ground, is do angels exist, or does God even exist? So I wanted to just share with you my early spiritual journey, and obviously all of us have our own unique paths, and our belief systems are based on many different things, including what our parents believe, what our community believes, but also our own personal experience. And when I was about 18, I was an atheist. I didn't think God existed. I believed, yes, we're here on the planet and we have to be the best people that we can be. But I certainly didn't believe in God. And I hadn't found the religion that I had been raised in, which was Methodism. I hadn't found it very inclusive. It hadn't made me feel very included. Now that's not the people, because the people were absolutely lovely. I come from a beautiful part of Britain called Cornwall, which is it's on the coast. It's surrounded by beautiful scenery, and actually I was born at the foot of a moor, which is wonderful high land, beautiful land. But the chapel that I went to, the people were absolutely lovely. But when I went to chapel, I would be told about our Father and about all these men in the Bible, like Jesus, who yes is the most amazing person, and I've developed a very strong affinity with as I've grown older. But back then when I was 18, actually even before I was 18, when I was going to chapel as a child, I just felt it was all about men, and there wasn't really a female figure that I could identify with. Yes, there was Mary, but there wasn't really a strong female figure in the Bible, and God was always described as a man, as a wise old man. And whilst I love men, I'm a woman, and I just didn't feel very included. I didn't really identify with it. And then when I was 18, I went to Indonesia. I got a job teaching English in a university in Borneo, which is one of the islands within Indonesia. It's actually split between Malaysia and Indonesia, and I was on the Indonesian side. And this I thought would be the most amazing place to go and see the rainforests, and where I stayed, I got there and there was no rainforest. It had all been cut down and it was swamp. But I taught in this university where the people, the students were the most friendly people I'd ever met. They were all Muslim. It's a very strong Muslim country and a very strong Muslim community in Indonesia. But it was only after I'd been there about 6 months that perhaps the students started opening up to me a bit. And I realised that their reality was actually very different to my reality. And one of the things that was most striking is that when we were sitting in assembly one day, and there were maybe 150 people in the room, and one of the students started talking to me, and I just wasn't getting what they were saying. And as I was listening, it suddenly clicked. They were talking about ancestral ghosts that they were seeing in the assembly. And I checked and I said, are you seeing your ancestors around? And they were like, well, yeah, of course, they're all around, can't you see them? And I was like, well, no, actually, I can't see them. And I checked in with a few other people standing in the group, and they said, look, about 60% of us can see our ancestors. They're all around us, we can see them. And they didn't even talk about it most of the time because it was so obvious, it was so commonplace. And so I had some of a similar experience where I grew up, where some people that I knew had seen ghosts. And ghosts are, of course, souls that were people, so people that have not managed to transition to the spirit world and are stuck in some form on the earth. I hadn't seen a ghost, hadn't heard a ghost, but I'd spent much of my teenage years being very frightened about the ghost that I knew was in our attic and that some people had seen or experienced the results of. So that was a very early, an early experience for me about how we must be really careful about being dogmatic about our own views. And that's why the Lightseekers Way is not about any type of dogmatism. It's not about saying you have to believe this is the truth, or you have to believe that I hear Source or God, or you have to believe that I hear angels. Absolutely not. It's extremely important to me that you know that this is a very inclusive site for people who are open-minded and inquiring, and that's why the site is called the Lightseekers Way, for people who are seeking the truth, seeking something, seeking a spiritual journey, wanting to progress along a spiritual journey. It's also a network that is inclusive of any religion or any faith. And I would say even if you don't believe in any form of creator outside of us, there may be something that you can get from the site in terms of connecting to your own highest guidance. And for you, that may be your deepest intuition. So I would love to walk this journey with you. If you're interested in connecting to your highest guidance, or just knowing a bit more, or being part of a community that is an inclusive community, inclusive of race, of gender, of sexuality, of faith. If you're interested in being part of a community dedicated to healing the world in terms of increasing our own vibrations and our own light, I would love you to sign up to our mailing list so we can stay connected. I'll be sharing free meditations, I'll be sharing some messages, and just in terms of the mailing list, that's how we'll stay connected. But if you want to get cracking on your connecting with your own highest guidance, please check out one of the courses. And I just look forward to walking this journey with you. Have an amazing day. It is wonderful to be in touch with you.